It's not just you buy the instrument and it's not up to you. There's support in terms of providing not just technical support, but what are the possible experiments that you could do that you would not have thought of is also something that applied photophysics can actually, the application scientists can provide you with. So that's why I suggest applied photophysics, because of all these qualities, in the sense the affordability, advancements, the technology, service, and their application scientists are also pretty good. So even the local service team, Toshniwal, has been doing extremely, I'll just give an example of, we just had to move an instrument from one place to other. They quickly came up, they gave a quotation, and or basically they made a plan on how to do that without disturbing the optics and other things. So that way it's very useful. Hi, I'm Hema Chandra. I'm an assistant professor here at the Department of Chemistry at IIT Madras. So I have joined around 3.5 years back, moving all the way from Boston. I have set up my lab of around 4 graduate students and around 5 master's students. So that's what I'm at currently. I'm basically a protein biochemist or enzyme biochemist. So I use Chirascan basically to determine both the secondary and tertiary structures of proteins and enzymes. And mostly I'm working on a class of proteins called knotted proteins, which have knots in them. And so basically we try to knot and unknot these proteins, and to whether they have gone back to their original structures or not, we monitor through the CD spectra, mostly through the secondary and the tertiary CD spectra. And when it comes to the enzyme biochemistry, so we use Chirascan to actually look at the formation of these enzyme structures, the proper enzyme structures, and what is the changes they have once they bind to their ligands, right? So that's what basically we use Chirascan for, looking at the structures, both secondary and tertiary structures of proteins and enzymes. Basically, our lab works on 3-4 projects or multiple projects. So one of the major goal of our lab is to basically identify druggable targets against Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So basically, we are working on a class of enzymes that basically belong to the class of HSP 100 class of family, which have like ClpA, ClpX, ClpB enzyme. These are ATP dependent enzymes. And so we basically look at their structural organization in their enzymatic form as well as in their non-enzymatic forms. And we use basically Chirascan to look at the changes in the structural organization of these enzymes. In addition, we also work on these proteins called FTase proteins, which are cell surface proteins, which help in cell division. So we actually look at these cell division proteins and we design small drug molecules that can disrupt the polymerization of these enzymes, these proteins, right? The other part of the lab works on more of a basic aspects of protein biochemistry, which is basically trying to look at a class of proteins called knotted proteins. As I said, as of now, we really don't know what these knotted proteins are doing in our body, but there are 1% of proteins that are known to knot in the protein database structure, right? So we look at the folding, unfolding, as well as knotting, unknotting of this knotted proteins, but we need to really see where we can apply these knotted proteins. But the other 2 projects that we are working on are mostly trying to identify druggable targets against Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So applied photophysics has been there for I've done my PhD in Mumbai, TIFR Mumbai. We had a couple of CD instruments there, like as a grad student. I think most of the CD instruments that I came across were all of applied photophysics. Applied photophysics has been part of my research, especially the CD instruments, since my graduate days. Even when I did my postdoc at MIT, there were a lot of CD spectrophotometers lying there. So applied photophysics, Chirascan is something not new for me. It has been there, seeing this instrument since I started my research career. We mostly use it for determining the secondary and tertiary structures of proteins. We were working on a knotted protein, and then we were looking at the impact of unfolding and refolding of the knotted protein. And we realized that upon unfolding and refolding, this knotted protein goes into a completely different kind of functional form. A general way of studying this is using tryptophan fluorescence and other things. Those were mostly giving the same kind of information post refolding. So, but we knew that there was some change in the secondary and tertiary structure of that. Had employed Chirascan to look at the changes in the secondary and tertiary structures of the protein, which we were not able to do from the basic fluorescence measurements or other things. So that's where Chirascan immensely helped us to determine what changes are we looking at. Ease of taking the data is like plug in and then get the data out of that. So I think it's a highly reliable, definitely it's a highly reliable instrument. And having said that, our instrument is slightly older, so we do have its own issues that come with being an older instrument. But otherwise, I have seen Chirascan, which is very reliable, especially the CD spectrophotometer. Many of the CD spectrophotometers have a problem in getting good data in around 180 to 210 nanometers. But here I know that Chirascan has been reliable even in this range, which is very difficult to get. Once I came in, I wrote to Applied Photophysics, and immediately I got a response on how to go about testing that and other things. And then I contacted Toshniwal as well, and they have helped us because the module that was not being used for so long, and how do we kind of merge it with the current instrument to get a better data. So I have been getting a very good positive response from both the Applied Photophysics in the UK as well as Bangalore team. The experience has been pretty good, I would say. I always keep saying the ease of the user interface with the software is very good, right? So that helps us a lot. And then in addition to that, the service team here in India as well as the UK is very good. So for somebody who's just buying an instrument, it's not just the cost of the instrument or the latest technical developments. Of course, you need to have an affordable cost, and then you need to have a advanced technology, but you should also make sure that the team supports you for your research for the next 10-15 years. And that is where applied photophysics has been very, very, very helpful, at least from what I understand or what I have seen.